Hi, I'm William Tucker of Scribbler's Rest, one of the founding members. We're at Gods and Monsters for the last time, for at least for a little while before they relocate. This series of videos get to know us a little bit more in depth. I started gaming at age 12, which was obviously only 9 years ago, but I got involved in, I always wanted to get into writing, more into novels and gaming products, but fate took a strange turn for me. Once I got divorced, a friend of mine, my good friend Troy Endicott, he reintroduced me to Dungeons and Dragons. That really helped during that period of time, and I decided to just go ahead and start writing. And I turned some of my first articles into Knights of the Dinner Table, and they accepted it right away. And I was like, okay, there's something there. It's kind of cool to actually get paid for writing. And went from there, started doing little supplements here and there, magic items, all this and that. Then I decided to go ahead and do adventures for them, and they've been fairly received well. Mugful of Mayhem is still number 8 on the list, and it's been on the Hackmaster Adventure list for 4 years now, so I'll take what I could get. But I decided to go ahead and get into the slightly more popular games of Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and Pathfinder, but I needed a publishing place that kind of was in sync with my style, because I do read mostly horror novels and everything, and I believe medieval fantasy could use a bit more horror to it, kind of Ravenloft to everything. So I hit Brian Berg of Total Party Guild Games, gave him pitches for 2 of them, and they both were accepted. So one's currently out right now, Slaughter at Splinterfang Gorge. If you like a goblinoid-centric adventures, and with the bugbears being the equivalent of Jason Voorhees, that's the one you want to go for. And I got another one upcoming that's a little bit more intrigue, called Noble Cause Bloodied Hands. That'll be out probably in the second quarter, third quarter of this year. Take a look for them. I got more in store. I'm actually working on a 2-parter right now, but we'll see what's going on. And maybe one of my esteemed colleagues has a question for me to answer from off camera.
Tell us about your latest adventure, William.
Okay. I've noticed in a lot of campaigns out there that they lead to the outer planes. And when I mean outer planes is you go for your campaign world, and the adventurers might have to go to Hell, Valhalla, Pandemonium, Limbo, the Abyss. And I've noticed a lot of DMs sometimes just do not have a jumping point for that. And they just can't take the time to make their own. Well, I guess this is where the game writers come in. I'm doing a 2-parter that gives the Dungeon Master or Game Master an opportunity to go ahead and have it written out, and not only jump to just one plane, an opportunity to at least jump to 8 or 9 planes. And with this being a 2-parter, they could actually work independent from one another. I want this to be very friendly to your campaign. So we'll see what goes on with it. I don't want to reveal the name of it yet, but it's going to take me a while to come out with it. But I'm about a quarter of the way done with the project. Let me tell you, writing stat blocks is the toughest thing. But
tell us about your process when you're writing an adventure.
I would have to say I do tackle the stat blocks first, because it's math. And if you're wrong by 1 iota, the nerd rage on the forums can be deafening. So you want to make sure it's all lined up just right. But then after that, I get into the process of the actual prose of the thing. I set up my locations. You actually have to draw maps too. Luckily, my maps are not going to be in the product. I give it to the cartographer who's ever being there at the time. And then once we get that there, I do an edit job. I hand it off to another person of mine that edits it, and then it hits the editors on the publishing side, and then hopefully it becomes all clear once then. Usually I'm called upon to maybe change a monster here or there, or change the background on the story, but that's pretty much the process. It's maybe a couple corners away from novel writing, but it does involve way more math. Just remember that part.
So where can we find more about you online?
You can go to Facebook at William, yours nominally, Tucker. You can find me there. Just go to Total Party Kill Games and you'll know those products too. You'll see them. Or, well, if you're watching this video right now, you're at Scribbler's Rest. And that's where you can find me.